This is Enzo Fernandez. Today he's under a lot of scrutiny, especially from the fan base. The most important reason for their criticism is the fact that he barely contributes anything defensively. From what most commentary channels say, their gripe isn't with his defensive awareness perhaps. Most of what I hear is the aggression and physicality to deal with opposition attacks. I have also said before that Chelsea is better without Fernandez based on how our fortunes turned around last season without him. But this season, despite playing in games where we have had good results, there is still concern about what he does defensively. And I must admit that Chelsea defensively does not look good at times, with the amount of chances they sometimes concede. And the midfield needs to be blamed partially for that. Personally, I think Fernandez has an important role in the squad, and that is why the manager has not dropped him. And I also think he is important to Chelsea in how we build up from the back so we don't lose the ball quite as often. Yes, his defensive liability cannot be overlooked because at the end of the day, he's also a DM, a position Romeo Lavia plays. So assuming Enzo Fernandez is undroppable, what are some ways we could protect him in order to reap the benefits of his on-the-ball abilities? Enzo Fernandez, upon his defensive liabilities, we also know that he's not been performing well on the offense. Okay, so we want to discuss that briefly as to why the change in his role, as in instead of playing as a deep line playmaker, playing him advanced is affecting his performance. So this is what it is. Now, Maresca, if I'm to understand why Maresca has done this, I feel like Maresca wants a lot of his passes or best passes to be in the half space. So that is why he's changed Fernandez's role to play a little bit advanced of Caicedo, right? So that Caicedo will also be assisted by one of Cucurella or Gusto inverting in midfield. Now, what has happened is that, you see, players have an inclination. Let no one deceive you that Enzo Fernandez don't play the same position as Lavia. It is not true. They are all DMs. Now, how do we know this?
War apps will tell you that his primary position is defensive midfield. And even Google would even agree with me on this. So it's not surprising that as he plays as an advanced midfielder, he struggles.
On the defensive side, how can playing Enzo Fernandez in a deeper position benefit him? Now, let's not miss. People thinking Caicedo. If you actually watch his game, okay, at the time when he was at Brighton, Caicedo is not. It's true. He says he wants to be like N'Golo Kante. Let me tell you, N'Golo Kante, he not be that sort of DM who likes to remain in his position. He moves around. Caicedo moves around. Back at Brighton, he had Yves Bissouma, I think McAllister as well. These players definitely had the engine to do what? Go up and down, up and down. And maybe for McAllister, he played like an Enzo Fernandez at times, okay? So it allowed Caicedo to move up and down the pitch. That is how Caicedo is to be deployed. Caicedo does not like this one. He does not like here. He prefers here. You understand? So which means that for Caicedo, he has the engine and the energy to go and come back and still perform very well. He can take the ball, drive it up there and do something, unlike Enzo Fernandez. Okay, he's not used to a role like that. So I think that if he could be brought back to this position, he's going to much more influence the game, and defensively it will help him. See, if Enzo Fernandez, if Chelsea is defending this way, okay, if Chelsea is defending this way, and maybe you have Cucurella here, I'm just saying Cucurella here, and they're defending this way, okay, this is how they're defending against the opponent. Now, these players over here, who are moving up and down, up and down. They can force the error, then Enzo Fernandez will just do what? Recover. Cucurella is very aggressive as well. Okay, so if he forces the error, he can just recover, take the loose ball, then distribute. That is how well we can use Enzo Fernandez defensively. But if you tell him to take an active role in trying to press the opponent by being high up the pitch, I think that is where he's going to suffer a lot. And that is what we've seen him do. He's suffering trying to play in a position like this where he's not comfortable playing in. And that has affected the way Chelsea is defending. So, me personally, I think if Maresca can change his role and reverse him back to this area over here, he's going to do well. The other way of getting Enzo Fernandez to play really well is to play all three of them. I mean Enzo, Lavia, and Caicedo. But I would prefer that they are played in a diamond. So it means that you have Enzo Fernandez playing at the base of the diamond with Palmer at the tip of the diamond. On either side of the diamond, you have Lavia and Caicedo. They are going to do the work of shuttling on the pitch. Okay, so Lavia will go and come, Caicedo will go and come. And at times they can drop deep and help Enzo Fernandez with defensive responsibilities. Now, what it means is if Chelsea are to play in a diamond, then it also means that there will be some sacrifices. For instance, you are not going to see Sancho, you are not going to see Madueke. So it means that we are going to sacrifice the wingers for more midfielders. But if this is the way to get Enzo Fernandez to play well, then I think it will be worth the sacrifice. And in addition, you are going to get Nkunku, who is the most clinical attacker, maybe apart from Palmer or behind Palmer, let me say it that way, because he's not played as much games for us to see how clinical he is. But Nkunku is very clinical. So imagine you have him alongside Jackson with Palmer, and you have these people behind him. I think there could be more creativity to help in circumstances like this. It could also happen that sometimes Palmer can move away to the right hand side in facilitating attack, can have Jackson around the middle, then Palmer can do his thing over here. But the whole point is the defense. So I think that if you have Lavia and Caicedo, if we really are insisting that Enzo Fernandez should be in the team, then I think this is the other way we can also help him. You have these two players doing the dirty work over here, and Palmer too doing his best over here, which helps Enzo Fernandez to mop up. Then you have Cucurella and Gusto, who are also decent at their defending as well. So doing this can also help Enzo Fernandez cover up for his defensive frailties.